Good morning. It is Wednesday. We're already into May, the beginning of May in 2018. Mr. O has always said that all the years fly by when you're having fun. I get to have fun this morning and talk with Dr. Filtzer, our medical advisor, and also one of the people kind of spearheading. This is a first for America. Dr. Filtzer, you're spearheading this effort to really get some testing. Like, we're not talking about I think, we're not talking about it might be, we're talking about some hardcore testing. And you've published a book, which you're going to sell. So tell us a little bit about maybe the background on why you said, it's time to do some high level testing and not just suppositions and we hopes.
I think the overwhelming reason to do this is that you want facts. You don't want conjecture. You don't want I think or maybes. When you test the water in a living system, such as tissue culture or living human beings, and you get the effect that you have alluded to all along, you now have proof positive that the physiology of man is improved by the water by a variety of ways. We have shown the antioxidant activity in living human cells. We have shown the anti-inflammatory effect of the water in living human cells. And we have shown that energy production is augmented by this water in the organelles called the mitochondria. And we have also shown that in a study where stress is induced by physical exercise, the water ameliorates that stress in a more favorable manner. It raises the red cell count of the stressed person, which increases oxygen capacity. And also it reduces the inflammatory response and therefore helps in the recovery phase from the exercise-induced stress. And we've shown that unequivocally. What we're missing are the ingredients within the cells that are affected in that way. Right. And these are called cytokines, and that's the next step of our study, to have those analyzed.
Okay. So I'm a layman, and obviously you're a physician, so you're going to see this different. And tell me if what I'm hearing is correct. You're saying that if I consume Kangen water, in my terms, I'm going to recover faster. Let's say I go to the gym, or I'm a track star, or I'm a golfer, and I'm consuming this Kangen water either after exercise, during exercise, as part of my daily life. In general terms, I'm just going to feel better and recover better because the water's better for my body.
That's it in a nutshell, and precisely right.
Okay, so there's no specified class. We don't have to say just runners can drink this, or just people in Zimbabwe, or just people ages whatever. You're going to say this is okay for every, matter of fact, every living being, any living being that consumes water.
Absolutely correct. Yes.
So it's a first of its kind. People are going to want to grab not only one copy. I don't think it's good to have one copy. I would be getting more than one, so that the first thing I did when someone were to come into a NAGIC, let's say they purchase an SD501, I would want to say, listen, I'm not a physician, but I know a darn good one. His name is Dr. Horst Filtzer. He wrote a book. You may want to read this. Wouldn't it be great if everybody could come on board educated with the correct knowledge rather than let's Wikipedia it?
Well, I hope so. I think that people do, in general, want the facts, and it's much easier when you are able to show that, you show the graphs that were done by the laboratory, know that this study was done in an approved laboratory that has a superb track record. And we do make this book available on a website that I have, and it is called ERW-USA.com. And you can purchase this book. 100% of the money goes back to research. I don't get a salary. I don't do anything with it other than funnel the money directly to the laboratory. And I hope people avail themselves of that service.
I definitely think they will. And later we'll write down the name of your website here in the notes so people can see it. What's the next stage? You mentioned that you've done some study on kind of recovery, some mitochondria study. You put it into a limited group of individuals. When we purchase this book, a lot of the proceeds go to funding future research. What's that research going to look like?
Well, the next step, and it's about to happen, we are going to analyze plasma and serum samples from all the participants in the prior study for these cytokines, for superoxide dismutase, and for a variety of factors that are important in the physiologic response to stress. And we hope that it will confirm further just what pathways are involved that help the body react better to the stress and reduce the inflammation better. We hope to show that with specific cytokines or messengers within the cell that affect those changes. And that study should be probably done within a month.
Okay, so that's pretty high speed for Enagic, kind of the leader in this industry of proactive health, and specifically through the use of water. Because we have this motto in the company, change your water and start to change your life. So this is the first in a number of changes. So if your research continues, where would you like to see it go? If you had unlimited funds, you could study anything, and people knew that the future was in pretty much your hands to see where Enagic would take Kangen Water. What do you see in the future?
Well, we have proposed a plan that is built upon results of the prior studies. In other words, now that we know the red cell count is up and things like that, that allows us to further study other factors. And each time you get new results, it's possible to build on these. Let's say we show the inflammatory cytokines to be ameliorated or subdued or upregulated, whatever it is going to show. We might want to study an inflammatory disease in relationship to the water, like rheumatoid arthritis. You know, many people report when they drink the water that their arthritis gets better. It's a common ailment of Western civilization anyway. And if we can show that this is truly affected within the body in a favorable way, I think that would further build the credibility of the water and would indicate further that this is truly a good thing. And that's what we want to show.
Right. So we're kind of on the cusp, if you will. We're on the leading edge or the cutting edge of, I mean, we're just getting started here, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. And I know that for many, many years, Japan has been kind of the pioneer, and they've done a lot more research. So I'm really glad to see American allelopathic medicine get behind this. So, I mean, you must be excited. The book is being very well received. I know Enagic people just absolutely adore it. They've been ordering it. So I'm sure you'll get a lot of input and further requests for studies. What's next on the stage for you to do?
Well, right now I've just submitted the book to be translated into Spanish, which is at the requests of distributors that I met with a few weeks ago in Torrance, where there's a huge Spanish-speaking population, and they would love to see that. And so this should be done by the end of this week, the translation, and then we'll re-modify the book and offer it in the Spanish language as well.
Yeah, I think if we had a Spanish language edition and probably a Chinese, just think of which kind of markets you could impact. We'd be into Malaysia, we'd be into parts of Hong Kong, China, and obviously the Spanish community, Latino community here in the States is huge, not to mention Southern America, parts of Asia, parts of Europe. So I think you're doing seriously good work.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And I know Mr. Oshiro is very, very happy. Can you just imagine, this guy that used to walk barefoot to school had no idea where his life was going to take him, now is having research done at a prestigious, research facility up north. And this is a guy who they said would never make it off his own island.
Well, he certainly fooled everybody, didn't he?
He certainly did. And I like that ability for people listening to say, hey, this little guy from Timbuktu, is now, having dinner with Harvard doctors, and he's moving around the world. So I'm glad to see that.
He certainly is. And he's inspired me a great deal because of his incredible enthusiasm and his dedication to this product, which I think is in large measure his personality, his persona, his ability to sort of give the message. It's very, very exciting, and it inspires people. And I like to help inspire people by, as they used to say on Dragnet, just the facts. Just the facts.
I like that. Well, you are very inspiring. I know that we're just immensely glad to have you here on the team. We're kind of humbled that a man of your stature and also a man of your wanting to help others. That is a fantastic trait. Mr. Oshiro calls it the bullet train of compassion. So let's ride this train together. We will look forward to having other interesting talks with you. For right now, go ahead and grab as many copies of this as you can. Good advice. A couple people writing here, we should bundle some pricing, and we'll talk about all that in future things on how they can get those at a better price. But right now, it's to get the word out, to help you as much as we can so that you'll have money to support further research. So, Enagic Distributors, you are responsible for getting Dr. Filtzer into the next stage of his research. So we thank you very much, Dr. Filtzer. You are a gem. You are a personal friend of mine, a mentor, and you're also a confidant for many Enagic distributors. So you've well worth your weight in gold.
Thanks very much. I appreciate it.
And we enjoyed speaking with everybody today. We'll look forward to talking with Dr. Filtzer in the future. For now, grab his book. Take care.
Thanks.